some noise. Put your hands together. We absolutely love Durham Laporte, everybody. Durham Laporte.
Bring the house down for the lovely Durham Laporte.
Very funny. Durham Laporte.
Hands together with Durham Laporte.
So I'm pretty excited to be here about the Atlantic bubble being open. I'm from Halifax and Nova Scotia, and PEI is very excited about the Atlantic bubble because it's like we get the boom to our tourism industry. And I know here in New Brunswick, you guys are excited because people seem to want to come here. Coming here from Nova Scotia, I'm originally from Charlotte County here, so right on the border of Maine. So usually with Border Patrol agents, I'm going over to Calais, Maine. And so coming here to New Brunswick, there was a border agent at the New Brunswick-Nova Scotia border. So without even skipping a beat, I just rolled down the window and said, "Yep, just coming over for gas and milk." I'm actually from New Brunswick, so I come here a lot, and my favorite part about coming here is every time on the way home, I stop at this great little diner, and I love it because it's so proudly Atlantic Canadian. The first time I went in, I was like, "Can I get a Coke or Pepsi?" And they were like, "All we got is Big 8. And then all they got for food were clams illegally dug by Terry. So the other thing about being from a small town is everyone there loved country music. I was never a big fan, but I do love Dolly Parton. I don't know if you guys saw, but for Dolly Parton's 75th birthday, Playboy magazine featured Dolly Parton. Now, some people think that's gross. Some people even think that she's too old. But you know what I think? Dem titties only 40 though. Comedy show! Tomorrow night at Al's Bistro.
Comedy show. Looking for a comedy show? Huh? He seemed busy. I think he's busy. Show tomorrow night, Al's Bistro, comedy show, 8 o'clock. Yeah, comedy show! Comedy show!
My favorite rapper, I'm a big rap fan, is 50 Cent. So I was looking up his Wikipedia page. And do you guys know that in Mexico, they call him 8 peso? For now anyway, his name changes with the exchange rate. Something else about me is I'm a really big rap fan. I started listening to rap at a really young age, before I knew that Americans didn't use the metric system. So I'd hear rappers say things like, "I'm in my Bugatti, I'm going 100 on the freeway." I'd be like, "Yeah, I mean the speed limit's 110. My mom must be gangster as shit. She goes 130 in a Jetta. I think rapper names are getting a lot less tough over the years. Like in the 90s, rappers had tough names, you know, like Biggie, DMX. And you get to the late 2000s, 2010s, they get a lot less tough with like Kid Cudi, Lil Wayne, and Drake. And nowadays, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Two of the biggest rappers right now are named Lil Baby and Da Baby. Like, come on. What's next? MC Fetus and Pre-Cum Carter? Those aren't tough names. My favorite band is Simple Plan, or it was Simple Plan, until I recently found out that the bassist has been accused of sexual assault. So I have a new favorite band, Easy Mission. They're a Simple Plan cover band. I don't like kids much, especially babies. Just today, I was on the bus, and there was a baby there, and it started staring at me, giving me that classic baby scowl, you know? And then finally, I had enough of it, and I was just like, "Hey, baby, put on a fucking mask." Baby just goes, "Fuck you, man, I'm from Alberta." I am getting to the age though where my friends are starting to have kids, and anytime one of my friends has a kid, I like to do this thing where I just stop being friends with them. But sometimes you can't avoid them. Like I went to this party ready to get wild, and my old friend Lindsay brought her baby and tried to get mad at me for bringing cocaine. Like I brought the ingredient to a great party, and she brought the literal worst side effect of one. What's worse was later in the night when she asked me for some cocaine. So I just called child services, put the line of coke on my phone, so the call went like this. Hello, child services. Woo! Do you guys think the baby should do a bump? As back in the day, I used to be quite the ladies' man. I had some great pickup lines. My best line was cocaine. I saw a study that said by the age of 25, 50% of the average person's social group has done or does cocaine. The other 50% are fucking losers. I used to do cocaine, and like Robbie, one of my favorite places to do it was in the bathroom at the Dome. And let me tell you something about the bathroom at the Dome. If you see two guys enter a stall together, they're doing one of two things. Blow or blowing each other. Sometimes even both.
Give it up for the seahorse. I'm excited to be here. You know, a little known fact about the seahorse is that if a baby is conceived in a bathroom stall here, the male will carry out the pregnancy.
So something about me is that I'm a very skilled glass blower. At least that's what I've been told by the man with the glass penis. But I don't know if you guys, I saw a lot of people were surprised about the passing of Alex Trebek, which I thought was weird, because the man's life was always in jeopardy. That was an exciting reaction. I'm pretty new to comedy, so I watch a lot of my favorite comedians to see what they did to become successful. And I noticed that a lot of my favorite comedians do impressions. I'm not very good at impressions. Except when my foot's asleep, I do a good Terry Fox. Hello followers who elected to watch my story with the sound on. Be sure to check out my live show, Durham Live with Friends More Talented, tonight on Facebook Live at 9 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. There's going to be rapping, acting, and a great musical guest. So you better watch it. Being from New Brunswick, I actually have an uncle who lives here, and he loves the Moncton Wildcats. He's probably their #1 fan. So this year for his birthday, I got him a really great gift. It's a shirt with the Wildcats logo on it that also reads #1 fan of 16-year-olds that I'll personally know. That same uncle also really loves wrestling. Again, I don't like wrestling, but I really do appreciate all the good work John Cena does. He actually holds the record for most Make-A-Wish Foundation wishes granted by an individual, with 600 granted. I think that's great. That means that there's roughly 300 dead children whose biggest accomplishment in life was meeting John Cena. The other 300 beat cancer. And their biggest accomplishment was also meeting John Cena. Like I said, I don't like hockey much, but one thing I do like about hockey is I love watching NHL players get interviewed because they're not very bright. And no matter what they're asked, they'll just say the exact same thing. Like I was watching an interview the other day and it was just like, all right, so how do you think your team is dealing with this constant losing streak that's 3 games lost in a row? And the guy's just like, well, the boys just gotta dig deep. We gotta get to the spots we need. And hopefully, we got Jones there to finish her off. All right, and how do you feel the team's gonna go moving forward? We definitely need to win the next game. Well, I think the boys are gonna dig deep. We're gonna get to the spots we need, and if anything goes wrong, we'll have Jones there to finish her off. Okay, and finally, how do you respond to the allegations that the entire team has slept with Coach Johnson's wife? Well, to speak candidly, we dug deep. We got to the spots we needed, and I'm just glad we had Jones there to finish her off. Thank you. Does anyone here work in fast food? No, that makes sense. They're very desperate for employees right now. I drove by a Wendy's the other day, and they had a sign up that said, "Come in for an interview every Tuesday and Thursday between 2 and 4 p.m. We don't give a fuck who you are." That very same drive, I went by a KFC. They had a sign up that said, "For an interview, text Tammy." And it had Tammy's real number. So I texted Tammy. Asked her if she wanted to go to my place for a good time. She responded, "Excuse me, who is this? How did you get this number?" I was like, "Tammy, chill. I got it from a mutual friend. The Colonel." I didn't get a date, but I got an interview.
Like I said, I'm from a small town in New Brunswick. It's super small. It's right in the middle of nowhere. Growing up, we couldn't even get internet, but we could get satellite TV. So as a youth, the only thing I'd masturbate to were the hot moms and wives and TV sitcoms. Now that I live here in the big city of Halifax, I got access to any porn video I want, but I still find it really hard to come, unless it's a video with a laugh track. Come on, the pornos I watch laugh harder than that.
You guys ever watching porn? I know like most of you probably do. And they have like ads before the videos now, like YouTube ads, and like 90% of the ads will start with, "Are you alone?" Like, "No, Pornhub, I'm here with the fellas." We heard this film has a great rating on IMDb. Have a story relating to that. I had a roommate, and he used to always leave his laptop open. So when he'd like go to the shower, I like to find the weirdest pornographic video I could find in those 5 minutes he was in the shower and play that. And one of the ones once was just a woman completely naked on a bed, and she was definitely a BBW, a big beautiful woman, and she just had every single item from the McDonald's value menu and was just eating it seductively, and it's one of the greatest videos I've ever seen.
That's a thing. People love watching that shit.
Mm-hmm. My weight is something I've always been insecure about. I think it stems from when I was a kid. My mom would always remind me to suck in. And for those of you who've never been chubby, suck in is when an overweight person literally takes their body fat and sucks it into itself to trick all of you into thinking we're skinny. Another common trick is to wear black clothing. I'm doing both right now. Just look at me. Sometimes people will question my ethnicity, and I am white. But I understand why people would wonder, because I look like the byproduct of Pablo Escobar fucking an ugly French Canadian. I haven't always been white, though. I was actually born purple. I came into the womb, and my complexion was completely purple. My dad thought my mom cheated. Like with who? Fucking Grimace? It's a medical issue. The reason I was born purple was because I had taken the umbilical cord and wrapped it around my neck, nearly suffocating myself. So that was my first suicide attempt. Years later, when I tried again, the umbilical cord was way too small. I grew up with all women, my 2 older sisters, and my sisters were a lot older than me, so they were in high school. I was still quite young, and one of my sisters would always have her boyfriend over, and they weren't allowed alone in a room together. They found this loophole that my mom never quite caught on to. Fucking in my room, which is really gross for me, and she gets the cool story of losing her virginity in a bed shaped like a Batmobile. I of course eventually lost my own virginity, but I didn't find out that I was bad at sex until the first time I hooked up with a girl through online dating. While we were doing it, I caught her swiping on Tinder. And she was just like, "Sorry, but I wanted to get fucked tonight. So could you finish up? I have another guy coming over." And I was just like, "This is my place." And the other guy still came over. Walked right in my room and was like, "I've fucked in this Batmobile bed before." Luckily I have a new girlfriend now, and we've been having sex in a graveyard. She's looking worse every time I visit. Sorry, I go a lot darker than that usually, but I kept it light for improv night.
can see Daniel waving goodbye, though he looks like Daniel.
You don't want to know what happens on this bed.
My last serious girlfriend was a bisexual woman, so I of course wanted to have a threesome. And she was really into the idea. Until she saw the guy I chose. She was just like, why would I not fuck my own dad? I was like, I don't know, you guys have the same nose, it's cute. The other day though, my girlfriend told me that she wants kids. I don't want kids, so we decided we're gonna have 2, break up someday. Another good one, thank you. Alright, I'm just gonna do 2 more lighthearted jokes for you guys here and then get out of here. So when I was 12, my aunt killed herself. Yeah. It was on a school day, so my mom came and picked me up and I missed the whole afternoon of classes. That afternoon was the one time in my school sexual education was taught. So, since that day, every time I haven't been able to please a woman, I just say, I'm so sorry. My aunt killed herself. And I think I've used that excuse one too many times with my girlfriend, because the last time I said it without skipping a beat, she just said, yeah, probably because you couldn't make her come either.
I'll tell you guys this. The other day, my girlfriend and I were having sex, and you could probably assume from earlier jokes I said I was not performing well. So she started directing me of what to do. She was like, okay, right there, not to the left, not to the right. Now take it back now, y'all. 3 steps this time. Left foot, let's stomp. And then she got real quiet and went, now cha-cha real slow. And then, when I finished, she said, now everybody clap your hands. Which you shall do now, because I'm done. Good night.